Yeah, Troy Saechao, Troy Saechao. Yeah, so I am the commander of the 337th Air Support Flight. We are located in the United States Embassy in Canberra, Australia, and we provide services to all our personnel that are on an assignment here in Australia. Most of the time when we're at an overseas location, there's usually a U.S. military installation that can provide those initial services to kind of help get people bed down and you know, get them settled in and be able to get their finances squared away, their household goods shipments, privately owned vehicles, you know, in and you know, up and running before they go and execute the mission. So Australia is unique in that we have quite a few service members here with no U.S. military installation. So we provide those services similar to that. It varies quite a bit, and it can be very chaotic and hectic, like I'm sure any other office is. So we have customers, service members that are our customers spread out all throughout. Most of them are located here in Canberra as well. And a lot of the times it focuses on, you know, what do they need? Anywhere from new ID cards, because you always need your CAT card to access your computer. Physical fitness tests, which is part of maintaining readiness here on continent still. We still have to do that. You know, even promotion testing. To customers that are arriving and looking for an in-processing type of scenario of being explained what we do out here and what services are offered to them, to even outbound when they need to set up their household goods pickup and getting squared away for their flight for their next assignment. Obviously, we are in a country that's the same size of the continental U.S. And we're in just one location, so having to reach out, maintain contacts with people, with personnel, because you know, it's hard to get to know what's going on in their lives. You know, as they're executing the mission when they're so far away. Different time zones, lots of miles or kilometers to travel. So you know, trying to maintain contact with folks is probably one of the challenges that we have. Aside from that. While we all speak the same language, the lingo of different service members also makes things unique. So, you know, talking to an airman, I don't have any issues, right? But, you know, maybe a soldier, a sailor, or a Marine. We also have some Department of Defense civilians sometimes. Lots of acronyms are thrown around and being used, and you always have to kind of step back and say, I'm sorry, what does that mean? Because it's just a different lingo that they use, or acronyms really, so. So we provide services, and our services include legal, traffic management operations, so like household goods shipments, financial management, and personal admin to service members across all branches. We also provide education and housing guidance, as well as testing and medical admin. We service all branches, so the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and we have one Coast Guardsman as well as our Department of Defense civilians who are not affiliated with a branch, but are, you know, they're representing the Department of Defense in some capacity. So one of the things I love about my job is I lead a really great group of 7 individuals that are all the experts in their career function. I am not the expert, but I get to learn a lot about what they do and the impacts they are making across the continent. Likewise, we get to touch all those personnel that are on orders on assignment here in Australia, and really learn in a weird way of what it is exactly that they do. We don't go into the minute details, but we have quite a bit of different missions out here, and that's what we're doing, is we're getting them settled in, get their quality of life settled in, so they can go out, execute that mission, which ultimately contributes to our partnership and relationship with Australia. The missions that they do range anywhere from intelligence to monitoring to summer operations across, you know, all services, so submarine, tank, and flying operations. Space is a big one, along with science and technology, and exchange officers all throughout the continent. Yes, that's correct. Like, I think sometimes when so I've been overseas for quite a bit, roughly 18 years to be exact, 17 years to be exact. Multiple assignments overseas in Europe and the Pacific. And what I didn't realize until I got here was how much you can take for granted of having a U.S. military installation. And our unit particularly is aligned with Yokota Air Base in Japan. So we're an extension of Team Yokota and the 374th Mission Support Group in the wing. Our folks actually went back for a little visit out there, and they realized how awesome it was to have access to a BX or a commissary again, and having some products out there that aren't available here in Australia. But absolutely, we do what we can to help them get settled in and make Australia feel as homely as possible. The Australian Defence Force is a terrific partner. We've had just over 100 years of mateship, which is the term we like to use out here. Our relationship dates back to World War I and the Battle of Hamel in 1918, and we've fought in every major conflict side by side ever since that. It is one of the strongest relationships and alliances we have throughout the Indo-PACOM region and throughout the world, really. We have no stronger ally. We share the same values and ultimately defend the freedoms that are afforded to the population here. No, there's a lot that goes on in Australia that sometimes people aren't familiar with or gets overlooked, and it was great to be able to highlight those folks. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on continent that kind of we don't always know. We know the exercises and we know the Marine Rotational Force, and they're outstanding examples of our relationship with Australia. And it's great that you guys are out here also as well to highlight the other stuff that goes on.